Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello, hello. So, as we're doing this today, first of all, how are you? I hope that each and every one of you has had a wonderful, absolutely wonderful day. I hope and pray that your holiday was great. There's been so many holidays, many that I didn't know were official holidays, but I noticed that you all might have been even off of work today because it's Easter Monday. I don't even know what that is. So I wanted to come to you and share answers to questions that I receive fairly often. And I want to do this on a regular basis. Some of you ask me questions, and whatever question that comes to me, I always want to share that answer publicly so that others can receive the insight and so that I could share as a group. I know that a lot of the knowledge that I have serves me best and serves every one of us best when I can share with multiple people. So, and I'm reading here my phone because I have received some questions and then I asked people to submit me some questions. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I wanted to answer a question that comes to me, I guess, most often. And this particular question comes to me from my friends. And what my friends see of me causes them to ask this question. It's actually a really good question. And I'm glad that they have seen something that would cause them to ask this question because the response is going to be something that can help so many of us. All right, so and as I'm answering this question, feel free to ask more questions or add whatever input you have or message me. I'm trying to stay tuned to all of my messenger programs in this moment so that I could address any other questions. After this recording, I have class tonight, so I'm going to cut us short at probably about 6:45 if we're still asking questions because I have class tonight at 7. All right, so the question, and like I said, when you're tuned in, please feel free to ask more questions that might arise. So the question that I'm going to answer right now is regarding my fun. All right, and my fun is something that I take very seriously. It's something that I really pride myself on, and that's the truth of it. And that's because when I was in corporate America, I spent a lot of time giving them the best of me, giving my relationship the best of me, giving people around me the best of me, giving my friends the best of me. And I do believe I gave myself the best of me. But what I realized is that I put a lot of time and energy into business and work things. And so in doing that, I didn't have a good work-life balance because I was so obsessed with my work. I mean, and I absolutely loved it. And so sometimes people see me now and they're like, you never get any sleep and you stay up too late and, all types of things. You don't have a clue. Like, this is nothing compared to the person that I used to be. So the question that I was receiving is really relating to my fun. How is it that I can balance so much and get so much accomplished and still manage to have so much fun? And that's because I put fun. Fun is a schedule for me. Fun is an assignment for me. It is something that I really, like I said, take a lot of pride in. I take a lot of joy in it, and I take it very seriously. So I make sure that as much as I can, I schedule my appointments with myself to have fun. That doesn't always happen, and I'm fortunate for that because that gives me the opportunity to be spontaneous. And so spontaneity is something that I've just always enjoyed doing, and I benefit from it a lot, and you have to excuse that shift. I want to give you more of me, so I went down a little bit in the chair. But I really take a lot of pride in having fun, and I encourage other people to have fun too, because if I can have fun in my personal time, in my social life, even fun that I have with my colleagues and my business partners, my business manager, my cousins, my family, when I have fun in all of those areas, it makes me more happy, more full, more fulfilled when it comes time to work with my clients. And with my clients, we also have a lot of fun together too. So I take a huge portion of my time, and not all that much, but I take a good chunk of time making sure that I have fun. Another thing about fun is that many of us can always go on vacations, and you may not, especially if you're an entrepreneur, having your budget to live extravagantly or live the life that you might have lived in corporate America. So it's very important when you have not been able to contribute to your fund on the budget that you would have liked to, that you learn how to have a lifestyle that doesn't require a huge budget. Have a lifestyle, a fun style that doesn't require a huge budget. So that means that here's really why I'm answering this question. I had a friend of mine who I told her a little bit about my life and the things that I've encountered and experienced as an entrepreneur, and those things, please believe, have not been cute at all whatsoever, but I'm cute, and so I make it look cute. And those things being said, I told her she has to learn to love life on a $0 budget. All right. And I told her again, she has to learn to love life on a $0 budget. And so she messaged me one day and asked me to teach her how to do that. And so that's why I'm sharing here with you, because many of us, especially as entrepreneurs, we get into spaces of life where it becomes very challenging to live the life that you want to live, to live the life that you desire to live. And then, hold on. And then you read my book, and I tell you all this happy stuff to do, and I ask you to journal, and I ask you to have a good time, and you're like, Coach D, you told me to change my posture, change my life, but I can't change my bank account. So sometimes it seems hard to live the life of prosperity if you have no money to show for it. And for those of us who are spiritual leaders, or life coaches, or people who are supposed to help motivate, mentor, and inspire, sometimes the parents, sometimes it's really hard when you give so much to other people, especially as women, you give so much to other people. It's really hard sometimes to find your own happy. And so what I love to be able to share with others in my personal time is the fact that I make this thing look good. It's not always good, and I'm not, bigging up myself. I'm bigging up my balance right now. You have to learn to have balance, and balance is something that you have to create, because it does not just exist out here in the world. Balance is something that you have to prioritize. And so that balance means learning to give to yourself in ways that no one else can. And the way that we do that on a $0 budget is go into the world and just see what's out there, what's available. And so I'm going to give you some very literal tips. Literal tips is just go into the world, like for real. Go out into the world. Go to cafes, go to diners, go to restaurants, go to places. And if you really literally want to just use a $0 budget, go to places that are free. That's parks, that's nature trails, that's beaches, playgrounds, all types of things. So for the parents, you have children, you have little children, take them to the park, take them to the beaches, all of these things that many times we miss out on in life because there's so many gizmos and gadgets and odds and ends. And with all of those things, we get distracted from those things in life that cost us absolutely nothing. So we have to get to spaces in life where we learn to enjoy those things that cost nothing. So here's something that cost me nothing, really. Cookies, and I know you can't see them, they're invisible right now, and milk, right? So cookies and milk, and that's a pleasure, a small pleasure that we have to learn to give ourselves, the small pleasures of life, and partake in those things that no one could take advantage of it like you, So cookies and milk for me. Donuts, a dozen donuts several times during my writing processes. Crab trays, of course, right? Because I take crab trays very seriously. And I go running. And the reason that I'm speaking to you right now is because I went to go running and it was way too hot. So everything I'm teaching you right now is not going to work if it's too hot outside. So what you'll have to learn to do is go out and experience the world. Find your joy in something, in some place, and make that a regular part of your lifestyle diet. And your lifestyle diet needs to consist of things that bring you joy. So even with your work, is if If it brings you joy, keep doing it. If it doesn't bring you joy, modify it. Find a way to live the life that, not just the life that you want, but the life that you deserve. So many of us spend so much time focusing on what we want, but do you deserve that? All right, so sometimes the things that you deserve may be more or less than what you want. Okay, so do you deserve as good as you want to live? Do you deserve that? Meaning, have you put in as much time, as much effort, as much sacrifice, as much diligence or persistence to arrive in life where you want to arrive? And if not, then give it a little bit more. Give it a little bit more. So some of the challenges that I've encountered in life is the fact that I have lived below normal means for a long time, and nobody knows that. And I'm not saying that I don't have any money. I'm saying that I don't have the money that I used to have. I don't live the way that I used to live. And those things are a challenge for those of us who understand what I'm saying. You come out of corporate America, you come out of big budgets, you come out of luxurious lifestyles. And I'm not saying that I was living, a rich life or something like that, but I am saying I lived a life that was very comfortable. And sometimes you get into spaces of life that get very uncomfortable. And I'm not talking in terms of money. I'm talking in terms of your space, like your mental space, your physical space, your emotional space, your spiritual space. You find yourself in points of life that get very discouraging. Life backs you up against the wall and you don't know what to do, especially when the only person there in that space is you. So even if you try to relay that communication to someone else, they won't understand all the time. So sometimes you just have to be the encouragement that you seek. You have to be what it is that you want to find in other people, because every time you won't always find it in other people. And the reason is because life wants to give you something that causes you to be great, causes you to pull something out of you that you didn't even know that you had. So back to creating these budgets, you really have to learn to take the joy out of the small things. And when you do it, and when you become comfortable with it, and when you learn to love it, another thing that you want to do is you want to bring others on this journey with you. All right, so we miss it sometimes because you find little spaces of life that are beautiful. Crab trays is a space of life that's beautiful, and you want to bring other people on that journey with you to enjoy it. Now, sometimes I do get in spaces of life where I keep my cookies and my milk and my crab trays and my beach walks and all of my trips. I keep that to myself because sometimes you need all of these things by yourself. Sometimes you just cannot share your place of peace with any person, because if you do, it's going to mess up your sanity. All right, and that's the truth. That's something that we really don't put a lot of stock into. We don't talk enough about the mental impact of our lifestyle decisions, and we need to make sure that with everything that we are balancing in life, that we have enough balance that keeps us mentally stable. And so some of us, we are not the most mentally stable people, and that's no shade. Like, seriously, I'm being so sincere right now. We need to evaluate ourselves, because we won't always seek the help that we need to find our mental breakthroughs. So if you will not reach out to resources or individuals, a coach, a counselor, a therapist, or pastors, if you won't reach out to the individuals that you need to get the help that you need, then you have to be the help that you seek. You have to be the thing that causes you not to have a mental breakdown, not to take it out on your children, not to take it out on your spouses, not to take it out on your friends, family, and definitely don't take it out on your clients. And so I found that in my engagements with women in multiple walks of life, that they are challenged in ways, I myself may be challenged in ways where we end up taking it out on other people who do not deserve it. So what you have to do is, like I said, you keep those spaces to yourself, because it is the best thing that you could ever do for yourself, is to be for yourself the thing that you need. And there's not another soul in this world who could be for you what you need at every step of every day, at every minute of every day. And I remember when I first started mentoring, I started mentoring with the desire to protect young women from things that I experienced as a young woman. I wanted to give them something that in some ways was not given to me. And I love Lolo, like, nothing that Lolo did or whatever. But, I wanted to provide an area of life or a space of life that in my life I felt was missing. Okay, so again, nothing against my upbringing. But it is to say that there are things that I wish I would have had. I wish I would have had someone connecting with me and sharing with me. And not to say that I wish I would have had someone protecting me from certain things, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to protect young women from certain things. What I realized is that is absolutely impossible to do. You cannot protect a young woman from being a woman. And so what I had to share with my mentees is the fact that there will be times where I won't be able to be there for them. I won't be able to be what they need. I won't be able to be there if they're crying, be there if they are falling, be there if they're failing, be there if they're miserable, if they're encountering horrible breakups. There's so much for them that I cannot protect them from. And so I told them they have to be their best thing. They have to be their best thing. And that's something that a mentor told me actually in corporate America. She said, always look out for number one. And number one is yourself. And so you have to be the best thing in your life. All right. And that goes for you, my mothers. The mothers are challenged when I say things like this. How could I be the best for me if I'm being the best for my kids? Like, you cannot be the best for your children if you are not the best for you, okay? You cannot be the best for your husband, your employers. You cannot be the best for anyone if you're not the best for yourself. So be sure, ladies, this is for my ladies, be sure that you are your best thing, okay? You have to be your best thing so that everything that you give to everyone else flows out from a soul that is full of richness, that's full of love, that's full of light, that's full of joy, all right? So I'm going to pause. If you've liked what I said so far, say so below. Put me some likes, some loves, some comments, so I'll know how to do this in the future. I don't like sitting that low to the ground. Okay, so learn to live life on a $0 budget. That's what we're talking about. Thank you very much for that, Miss Nesbitt. Thank you, much appreciated. So, learning to live life on a $0 budget. Learning to love life. Oh, I'm loving it. This is amazing. Keep going. All right. So, another thing I wanted to share is I take a lot of trips to the beach, right? And so my godmother, she's on it now too. I take a lot of trips to the beach, and on these trips that I take to the beach, I go by myself. Y'all have to excuse me. Give me 1 second. I'm being interrupted right now. And it's making noise and coughing and stuff. Okay, so I take a lot of trips to the beach. And during my trips to the beach, I'm going to tell you how I plan it. And for those of you who are employed by someone else, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to just take a day off work, okay? It's a mental health day. You need to take a mental health day. And on your mental health day, you need to go to the beach. And I'll actually create a map. I always give myself all of these tasks, and I never get a chance to complete these tasks, but I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to do this just for you. I'm going to create a map of beaches in Florida, okay? And I'm going to share that map with you all because I want you to go to beaches in Florida, and this is something that you'll only be able to do like I can on a Tuesday. I get to turn up on a Tuesday all the time. On a Thursday, me and Coach Tamika Rodell, we went to D.C. We had the time of our life. We had a blast simply because as self-employed individuals, we can do that. So for those of you who cannot do that, go ahead and take a mental health day. And on a Tuesday, I recommend a Thursday, just travel to beaches. And so what I did was I left Jacksonville one morning, I believe at 5:30. All right. And from 5:30 until I think I planned on leaving at 5:30. I probably left at 5:45. And then I rode to St. Augustine Beach. All right. Well, I rode to the fort. Okay. Is it Montazas? Castillo. day montages, I believe. I don't know. So I went to the fort in St. Augustine, and I visited there, and I watched sunrise from the fort in St. Augustine. Right now, who could do that but me? I get to do stuff like that. And while I was out there, of course, in my interesting life, I meet so many different people. So I meet people who enjoy life at 5 a.m. because the rest of us are asleep because you got to go to work, which is fine. I'm not knocking it. I'm just telling you what to do when you are off work and you're really not supposed to be off work, okay? Drop those kids off at school, put them with their auntie or somebody, and then you leave your house at 5:30 a.m. You go get you some coffee, right? So I give me some iced coffee, or I give me some tea, and you go out there, you go to the beach. So I went to watch the sunrise at the fort, and then from there on out, I went to every beach I could find on A1A, which meant that at every stoplight, at every little channel, at every little fork in the road, of course, this is Florida. There's beaches everywhere. And so that's what I did. And it was the most wonderful trip that I ever took because I was able to do that by myself. I was able to show up. I was able to be there. There was no one else there. Parking was great. The food was great. Anything I did was great. It was just me and older people. Is the truth. It was like all kinds of retirees, and I was having the best time of my life talking to all these people. And that is an example of how I learned to love life on a $0 budget, because it costs essentially nothing. I mean, you think gas costs a lot of money. Who wouldn't spend $20, $30 to go up and down the coast, the Florida coast? It's a beautiful thing to do, all right? And it makes good sense if you take advantage of it. Fix yourself a sandwich if you need to do that. But many of us have a budget, okay? So use the budget that you have and create something for you that you are going to love, all right? It's not about anyone else. But take a mental health day, because again, this is going back to our stress levels, you know, our sanity, the way that we are angry with people all the time, the way that we are nasty with people all the time. And some people look at me and they expect my reactions to be one way, and my reactions are not always the way that they expect. That's because I take full advantage of what I do in my alone time. And in my alone time, I spend a lot of time making sure my peace is on fleek. See, some of you have to get your face beat and your abs snatched and your all kinds of stuff. I make sure I get my peace on fleek, my peace beat, my peace snatched, so that when you all act interesting, I'm already good. I am together, right? Because I turn up on these beaches on a Thursday or a Tuesday, all right? So many of you see also, in addition to that, you see that I take a lot of trips. And I tell people all the time that majority of the trips that I take are absolutely free, and nobody believes me, which is perfectly fine. I'm out here for free. And that's a blessing. So another aspect of learning to love life on a $0 budget is learning to receive from others. Many of us as women, we are challenged with receiving, especially because we pride ourselves on being independent, right? And that's good. It has its place, right? But there is also huge value in learning to be a woman. And it is my strong position that a woman has been placed here in this world to be kept. And if we don't learn to maximize the value of what it means to be kept, then you won't know what it is to receive. Be graceful, be gracious. You won't know what it is to sit in the seat of expectation and expect the world to show up for you, especially for those of us who are daughters of the Most High. We ought to expect life to show up the way that it only could for a princess, okay? You are a divine princess. And these things being said, then you need to learn to sit in a posture that is the posture of a princess. So you should expect the best in life. You should expect the best from people. You should always expect the best outcomes. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. You have to learn to expect for life to be nothing but stellar for you, right? I taught my young ladies. So I spent a lot of most of last year engaging with groups of younger women, right? Very uncomfortable for me, but I spent a lot of time engaging with younger women. And during these engagements, I didn't really know what I was going to say. I was nervous, and it was absolutely fun because of that. But what I told them to learn to live life with your pinky up. Now, what I mean by that is that these young ladies were encountering a lot of challenges and behavioral situations in school, because in school, apparently, it's a riot in schools these days. Children are behaving all types of interesting, and it's a challenge. And so what I was teaching these young ladies is learning how to live life where conflict and drama and gossip and nonsense just does not even enter your mental space, right? Because the same things I'm teaching adult women are the same things that younger women are challenged with, which is really why we turn into older women who have the same problems. It's because we never learned how to get out of the foolishness when we were younger. So I told them to learn to live life with their pinky up. So I sip a lot of tea. And in social media or pop culture, we learned that, many times we'll say, sip tea, sip my tea, which means that I'm above and out of the situation. I'm just observing the situation. And many of us are lying to ourselves by saying, I'm over here seeing what's going on over there and I'm not involved. That's a lie. Many of us are very much emotionally attached to a lot of the foolishness that's going on around us, so much so that it impacts what's going on the inside of us. And so what I told them is learn to live life with your pinky up, which means that you really can look at people, situations, places, things. You can look at your bank account, okay, and you could just, I'm not even worried about that. That's what the pinky up means. It means I'm not even bothered by that. That's not going to bother me. Those people, that's not going to bother me. Things, places, all of that stuff, it's not going to bother me. When life gets to be very interesting and it looks messy and it looks foolish, it feels messy, feels foolish. You sometimes encounter things in life that you never thought that you would, and you don't know what to do. I encourage you to learn to live life with your pinky up, okay? Do not be challenged by struggles that are not yours, struggles that are for other people. Let those struggles be for other people. This includes your family members, okay? So some of us find ourselves smack dab in the middle of somebody else's problem all the time. You're doing too much, ma'am, all right? Your peace is going to be hard to come by if it's always shooken, just like those people who get tooken. Your peace gets shooken, all right, by other people, places, and things. And I say tooken because they have that movie, Taken. Don't let people take your peace, all right? Don't let things take your peace. The only person who should have control of your peace should be you and nobody else. I mean, God could shake it up, but don't let people in this world go casually about making you be unstable, all right? And we don't like to blame other people, we don't like to take accountability for ourselves because we like to blame other people. You have to be honest. Is it you? All right, is it you? Is it you? So are you just moved and shaken and taken and taken by every little thing that comes your way? Or could you respond better, right? Could you respond better to how life happens? So learn to live life on a $0 budget. Learn to take advantage of those things that no one else can, all right? So again, when you take these free days off of work, which I'm not encouraging, but if you're going to do it, go to the beach. I talk about going to the beach often, and I hear a lot of parents tell me, oh, there's no time. I got to do this with my children, or I got to pick them up at night. I encourage you to make some time for yourself, because if you don't do that, it is to the detriment of your children as well. All right. So the schedules, at some point, your schedule cannot be more important than your peace. Your schedule cannot be more important than your mental stability. Your schedule cannot be more important than maximizing the love that you have to give others. So that means that you have to take the time that you need to get things done for you. Because if you don't do it for you, no one else will. Okay, so you have to love you the best. You have to love you better than anyone else will, anyone else can. Because if you don't do it, who else will be able to? The answer to that is no one. All right. So that's it for now. If you all have some more questions for me, and of course this is not intended to be things about my personal life, it's intended to be things that you could take advantage of in business and also in your personal lives. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them underneath the video. If you have enjoyed this, please say so underneath the video. If you have not enjoyed this, please feel free to say so under the video. And I'll give you a few minutes to do that, so that if you have something that I can address quickly, I'll go ahead and address it quickly. All right. So I really hope that you have enjoyed this today, and I'm kind of glad that I did it, because it kind of gives you the opportunity to see me when I'm not all dolled up and speaker ready, you know. And Miss Davis, yes, cookies and crabs are absolutely my favorite as well. You are definitely welcome. I really get a kick out of sharing who I am with each of you. So I most certainly appreciate you tuning in and making comments, of course, and sharing with me your likes and your dislikes, so I can be sure to get you out things that help you in life. And also, of course, Miss Nesbitt. I absolutely love the Nesbitt family. You all have been absolutely amazing to my process and also to my progress. So I most certainly appreciate your support and your love. All right, I'm going to check my text messages and see if there's anything else that I need to add. All right, that's it. So I'm off now to engage with my life coaching learners. I'm very excited about that, of course. And in this particular session, we do Skype phone calls for our coaching session. So that's been pretty cool. I get to look at them when I say interesting things to them and when I challenge them, and I get to see their facial responses. So that's pretty cool. So anyone who has any additional questions for me, please feel free to message me on this particular page. Let me know what your questions are. Your questions could be any array of questions. They could really ask me directly about me. They can ask me about my processes, my procedures. They can ask me about my book, or how to write a book, how to publish a book. They can ask me about having a business manager who, every time you have a speaking engagement, she steps outside of the room as if that, you know, she doesn't want to be at your speaking engagement. Let me see, they can ask me about good clients, bad clients. They can ask me about not having clients and having clients. They can ask me about when your PayPal gets funny. You can ask me about when your PayPal is a very comfortable place for you. All right? So there's all types of things. You can ask me about branding and business and coaching. Oh my. So anything that you want to ask, anything under the sun, I'm looking forward to engaging with you. I am going to try to commit myself to doing this once a week, probably at 6:15 on p.m. would work best, since I've already kind of set that expectation for today. I think I'll try to keep that up. So again, if you need anything else, feel free to let me know. And share the video if you enjoyed it. Make comments under the video if you enjoyed it. And it's just really simple. Like I said, informal. I'll try to keep it informal so that you can get more comfortable with me. I'm looking forward to that, because I know that there's much that you all have to share, and I know that there's much that you could pull out of me. So go right ahead and do that. You can reach me at CoachDNicole.com, connect at CoachDNicole.com, hashtag CoachDNicole, Instagram CoachDNicole, anything Coach D Nicole. So reach out to me. Oh, Cash App Coach D Nicole, you know, in case you want to send a donation. All right. I love each and every one of you. I hope that you have a blessed and beautiful day. I will talk to you all soon. Have a good night.